Hi everyone, this is just a quick brief video on all the different types of technology we use at Loves Beauty. As you can see, there's quite a few machines here, and also I've got another one I want to show you that's just sitting up the corner of my room. So as you can probably see, a lot of people will message and say, right, okay, I've got this amount of fat, I've got this and I'm going on holiday in 4 weeks, what can you do? It's not that straightforward, unfortunately. We are born with our fat cells. They kind of link the scientific evidence is now suggesting that when you are a baby and you have naturally born with chunky legs, you tend to have problems with legs later in life. When you are born with a chubby belly, you tend to have a chubby belly later in life. This is what they sometimes class as genetics, where you are becoming an apple shape and obviously a pear shape, but there is still evidence to prove this 100%. So during puberty, you actually lay down your most fat cells. So you obviously are born with fat cells, and then you start to make more fat cells, especially during the ages of puberty. This is why the government are very now strict on children and parents ensuring that they have healthy eating and not to be obese, as there's too many children now. The government are saying that children are obese. Obviously, this is the time when your fat cells are mainly laid, so this is what they will carry on in life. So when you are next reaching in the cupboard for that chocolate and you think, oh, okay, I've lost 2 pounds in weight this week, I can have a treat, just bear in mind that when you actually lose weight, you don't actually ever lose your fat cells, they simply shrink. So if you imagine your fat cells to be like balloons full of oil, they increase in size and they fill up as you gain weight, and they decrease in size, almost like you're letting the air out of a balloon as you lose weight. You never actually lose a fat cell. It never disintegrates, it never disappears, only with technology. So if you are not one that wants or fancies jumping on a plane to Turkey to be contoured, then this is your next best option. So different technology tackles different types of fat. So you will see me at Loves Beauty always say to you, right, send me a picture of your tummy or your legs, I need to actually have a look. This is just because I need to see what your expectations are, what time frame we're working to, and also what's your lifestyle like. I could easily contour you every single week for the next 6 months if you wanted me to. However, if you're not going to do anything about your diet, or you have got, medical issues or ailments that might, not get you the result that you want, then this is why I ask for a consultation. So this is to ensure it meets your expectations and you are going to be happy with your results. And obviously I know the treatment's working and there's no contraindications. So let's start. First little probe we have is a ultrasound cavitation. Ultrasound cavitation delivers ultrasound wave frequency to the fat cell. I've popped a video on our YouTube channel and in our health and wellbeing group on an egg. Believe it or not, an egg. So we showed how, imagine an egg to be your fat cell. It's a little membrane. We use cavitation, we hover it across there, and it starts to crack that egg. It starts to shake that membrane, and then it starts to break down the membrane. So the yolk runs into the white. This is what was done on an uncooked egg, by the way. And it was without the shell on. So in regards to radio frequency and cavitation, I have actually got a 2-in-1 probe. So the 2-in-1 probe means I can actually tackle loose skin, cellulite and crepiness. So people that have lost elasticity, maybe they've had children, maybe they've gained and lost a lot of weight, and the radio frequency helps to tackle that. So imagine you have got a big fishing net and the fishing net's got lots of holes and you're not catching as many fish as you used to. That is your collagen. So that is how your radio frequency helps to knit back that. So we're almost getting our big sewing needle and we're knitting the net back together. That's exactly what radio frequency does. It helps our collagen and elasticity to knit back together. However, with radio frequency, if you're tackling loose skin, if you're tackling gels, and simply if you want to do a little bit of a face uplift, you do need more than one session. Ideally, you have anything between 3 to 6 sessions on a weekly to 10-day basis. First 3 sessions, highly recommend a week apart and no more. This is to ensure that your collagen and your elasticity start to say, right, okay, that machine is actually doing something. I better take note and do something about it, so it will regenerate. The beauty about this is back in the day when I first started doing cavitation, we didn't actually have the privilege of having a probe that does 2-in-1. Now it's very much evolving. Machinery is very much becoming state of the art, and this little probe here was my updated machine I bought last year. So this actually does cavitation and radio frequency, so it tackles fat, and it actually helps to tighten the skin all in one session. So we haven't got to switch the probes anymore. We simply use this with an ultrasound gel and we go across the area. This is amazing for contouring. If you want to slim your waist, lift your butt, smooth out that banana roll, shave that inner thigh in, this is the bad boy for you. This also I actually use if a person has got a more harder fat, to actually break and soften that down. So as I said, remember we have two different types of fat. We have our harder fat that's stored between our muscles, and we have the visceral fat around our organs. So imagine your belly to be more like a pregnancy bloated looking belly, or your legs to be more solid. This is what your different types of fat do. So your softer fat and your harder fat, this can treat both. However, if your fat is very hard, we would require more sessions. Let's move on. So contouring can be done on its own, and sometimes I actually integrate it. As I said, I do bespoke treatments for clients, so I'm not giving any secrets away on here at the moment, but there are ways and means of getting a cracking result by mixing the two technologies and certain time frames and lengths of doing treatment. So now we move on to what we call fat freezing, which is cryopolysis. Been about for a fair few years now, and it is scientifically proven to freeze and kill fat cells. Very skeptical, was trained in it for about 3 years before I actually bought a machine, as we were always taught it doesn't tighten skin. You cannot tighten skin, it doesn't do anything. However, again, technology has moved on. We now have machines with thermal shock wave therapy. We also have all the radio frequency elements built into it, and to some degree we have the LED light therapy. Come on girls, we all know LED light therapy now for the face, or the masks, the opera masks that we look like something off Halloween from. It does that at the same time. So my machine, I've got 4 different size probes. You've got some machines that have the plate all the way around, and then you've got the ones that have just got the little, almost like fridge looking magnet in the middle. So you actually place this on a person's fat. The suction pulls the fat into the cup, and it then fills the cup to a certain degree. So basically your fat looks like a nice little cold chicken fillet sitting in the fridge, but instead it's sitting in the device. You have a membrane applied almost like a baby wipe, almost like an antibacterial wipe to protect the skin from eye sperm. This very, very rarely happens, because I can hear you gasping, oh my god, eye sperm, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to burn? Is my skin going to drop off? No. This is simply to protect the skin. Imagine you putting your hand in a freezer and you leaving it there for 10 minutes. It's going to be cold. It's going to be really, really cold. That is exactly how it feels when your freeze goes on. It feels a bit cold. It almost feels like, you know, in the winter when it's biting on your fingers, and like today, it's really cold here in the UK today. So that you will actually leave on for a certain amount of time. It will then start to freeze the fat cells, almost like a compacted snowball. We've put a big snowball together, we've left it on the windowsill, and then we're going to wait for that to melt. However, with cavitation, you can do it weekly. With fat freezing, you have to leave a gap. If you didn't, you would get quite a lot of icy, fatty lumps, and plus you need time for the skin to regenerate, recover, tighten, and do the job of the fat moving away. So some people like to start off with cavitation because that will give you an instant result. Literally before and after pictures can be done in the hour session with me, and you can actually see a difference. That carries on working for about 72 hours then, whereas your fat freezing will carry on working for weeks. Ideally with fat freezing, some places will say no, 1 session is enough. Personally, being in the industry for like 24 years and doing fat freezing 12-13 years, always follow your session up. It doesn't cost a lot with me to do it. I try to keep treatments affordable for clients, and I have no overheads as well. So we all want to treat, but we all want it to work, and we all want to know what results we're going to get. So for me personally, always follow your fat freezing up, and you can always do cavitation in between as well, again depending on the thickness of fat. Then we move on to your vacuum Girls, JLo, booty, lift, you've seen the suction cups, you've seen the big cones they put on the bum, and they start to really suction the bum, and then you have a nice voluptuous bum. That does work to some degree, and it can give you a cracking result, and it can last a fairly long time. However, a lot of the bum cups do actually cause an increase in fluid in the area only. It doesn't actually create the fat to sit in an area. It is mainly fluid retention in and around the muscle area. Whereas when you do vacuum, yes, you're doing the same. You're moving fats and toxins, and you're moving the fluid retention to a specific area. So you can actually combine vacuum with cavitation to create an ultimate bum lift. You can then use cavitation and vacuum to break down cellulite and to actually contour. This is amazing for cellulite, and it's amazing for the banana roll area. So, you know, that bit of fat that sits under them bum cheeks, it's that. Then we move on to what we call a melting lipo serum. Very skeptical of this product. Came across it December last year, so 2020 going into 21, and looking at it, getting lots of evidence behind it. 3,000 case studies measured on an MRI scan, FDA approved, now starting to sell worldwide. I love this beauty because it's very good to use with cavitation. You can use this, which is why I've put the pots here. I actually create home kits. Again, you have a consultation first. You assess the fat. If your fat is nice and soft and squidgy and you have a little bit of a hang, you can do this lipo serum for 5 days at home as a treatment. And you have one-to-one support with me. I'll show you how to do the treatment, your befores, your afters, your aftercare, and also the techniques to actually achieve if you've got you want to create a lift. You can actually do a boob lift, a bum lift, and you can do a boob reduction with this. It is scientifically proven to reduce fat cells, and it is much safer than fat dissolving injections. I actually did fat dissolving injections for like 18 months, and results are very hit and miss. With this, you can choose to where you want to target it, and because we're targeting subcutaneous fat, there's active ingredients there that scientifically are proven to get into that fat. So they do get into the epidermis, and they do get into that subcutaneous fat, and they do start to liquefy and break the fat cells down. So all of the technologies will permanently reduce fat cells. So if you've got a friend that says, oh, I went for that fat freezing session so-and-so somewhere last year, and it didn't work on me. 1, did you have it done correctly? 2, did you follow up your results? And 3, was your diet okay? These are technologies that are scientifically proven and have medical research and papers to prove they work. So look at whether you followed your aftercare. So it could have just been that it was bad luck and you just didn't pick the right clinic. However, your treatments, if you did them correctly and for the amount of times and followed your aftercare, work amazing. So with your serum, you can do it in clinic. And you can also combine it with cavitation. If you do the serum with cavitation, it doubles the results. This bad boy was actually made for home use. It was developed for salons and home use. I'm actually really proud to be the Birmingham stockist for this. And you know, people are jumping on all over the world in regards to this. And what I like is advanced practitioners in the beauty industry are able to do this, but it's not going to be saturated with therapists that are going to be around the corner. You know, the company want it to be certain therapists in certain areas and there be a maximum stockists within a so many mile radius, which is what I love, because we're not in competition with anybody, we're not undercutting prices and so on and so on. So you get a home kit, you get your tape measure in there, you get your serum for your 5-day kit, and you get your obviously all the literature you need and one-to-one support from me. You can do this in clinic, as I said, so you can actually combine the lipo serum with the ultrasound cavitation to double the result of your cavitation, and then you can enhance the treatment if you want afterwards and buy serum to take home to use in between your cavitation treatments. Last but not least, I'm just going to whiz over here, we have what we call a HiFem. HiFem is a muscle stimulator. The nearest one, the medical grade one, is one called Emsculpt, Emsculpt, and it's quite a lot of money to buy. So scientific research behind the Emsculpt is a bit like having an MRI scan. These paddles will actually be placed on the booty, on the inner legs, on the arms, and they will increase muscle mass. Ideally, you do a session twice a week for about 6 to 8 weeks. Can you see my lamp in the background? Lovely. And it will actually build muscle. It is scientifically and medically proven to increase muscle mass. You'll get an increase over about 6 sessions, 16 to 20% of increased muscle mass. This will carry on working and building over an 8 to 12 week period. So you will do your 6 sessions, and then you will leave a 6 to 12 week gap, and if you want to go again you can. So you can use it as much or as little as you want, but you have to complete the 6 to 8 sessions twice a week at least. So that is the only side effect from this, is can you get to clinic twice a week, and can you commit to 3 to 4 weeks. But it is amazing for a booty lift. You can actually create and increase muscle mass on the booty, and you can actually burn off fat and increase muscle mass on the body. So it has 2 different forms to this particular machine, where you can actually build muscle. I'll see if I can switch it on and show you. You can actually build muscle and increase muscle mass. I'm just going to plug it on, just bear with me. I'm just gonna, that's the paddles, so you can work 1 paddle at a time or 2 paddles simultaneously. So if you're a bigger client, you can actually have 2 paddles on the tummy area. There we go. So we've got an auto main, and we've got age ranges there. We can burn off fat and build muscle, or we can simply do the gluteus, which will actually just increase muscle mass, so it will actually create a booty lift. And then we've also got a manual program as well. So most people choose the the auto set, and it will do lymphatic drainage as well. So it will actually warm the muscle up, work it out, cool it down, and there's different variations for different ages of what contractions does what. So 1 session on this, a 30-minute session, will give the equivalent of 20,000 contractions, meaning 20,000 contractions would be like having 20,000 full squats. So most of you do squats, but have you got your variation right? Have you got your technique right? Same when you're doing planking, do you hold it in? It's very, very good, and lots of clients that have used it so far have actually said that they've felt a lot more stronger in the pelvic area. They've actually found that it's very good for weak bladder, back pain, particularly lower back pain, because if you're strengthening your core, you're strengthening your muscles in that area, you're tightening all the organs around it, and it actually helps with your posture. So that will actually help to build up fat muscle and burn off fat. So you can combine also with this, so you can do fat freezing, cavitation, and all the other treatments actually with the HiFem as well. Ideally, if it's for pelvic, to actually help to strengthen the pelvis, and for muscle and back pain, then it doesn't really matter what size the client is. However, if you are looking to actually bring a 6-pack, or increase your abs, and also especially on the arms, if you've got sagginess on the arms that have come just again with age, then you can actually see the circumference of loose skin reduce over time as we build up muscle mass. Because you're increasing muscle mass as well, you're actually burning more calories throughout the day. The more muscle mass a person has, the more calories they will use throughout the day, just to naturally burn. So as we age, unfortunately our muscle mass decreases. So if we're not working out and we're not exercising as well, then that's the unfortunate side. So that is cracking for actually scientifically proven to reduce fat and to increase muscle mass all in one treatment. So that is your technologies with Loves Beauty. We do have the nutrition side, as I said. So we have a fat burning juice, and we also have protein powder, really high strength protein powder, and we've also just started to stock some collagen, and we also do a 5-day cleanse. So anybody that is looking to cleanse and detox and start a diet, that is for you. So any more questions, please drop us a message. Our number is just on the leaflets here. Our website is there as well, or if you'd like a consultation or simply to book in, please get in touch. We're at Loves Beauty Birmingham on Facebook, or you girls know me. We've got our own health and wellbeing page. There we go. Technologies to reduce fat.